Educational Research, John W. Best, 1992, has observed in his book Research in Education as the secret of our cultural development has been research, pushing back the areas of ignorance by discovering new truths, which in turn lead to better ways of doing things and better products. There is no alternative to truth and therefore to research. Joe, research is to get nearer to truth. Educational research is considered to be a prominent key which is essential to the opening of new doors in education. Educational research must be squarely aimed at finding solutions to unsolved problems, at creating ways and at devising new media to meet certain functional needs which have never been met before, at finding better process and content than those currently in vogue. It cannot be simply library research, it must be research and development, tied to action. Keeping this in view, effort has been made in this unit to highlight the concept and need scope of research in education, particularly in distance education. Objectives of educational research. After studying the unit, it is hoped that the student will be able to 1. Explain the concept of research in education. 2. Discuss the need for educational research. 3. Evaluate the scope of educational research. 4. Identify the qualities of a researcher. Concept of research in education, according to J.W. Best, 1992, research is an intellectual activity which brings to light new knowledge or corrects previous error and misconceptions and adds in an orderly way to the existing corpus of knowledge. The term research and scientific method are often used synonymously, and research is considered to be more formal, systematic, intensive process of carrying on the scientific method of analysis. There are 7 elements of scientific process, namely: I. Purposeful observation, 2. Analysis, synthesis, 3. Selective recall, 4. Hypothesis, v. Verification by inference and experimentation, 6. Reasoning by A. Method of agreement, B. Method of disagreement, C. Method of concomitant variation, D. Method of residues, and E. Joint method of agreement and disagreement, 7. Judgment. It might be helpful to highlight some of the accepted connotations of research. These includes: 1. Research is simply a systematic and refined technique of thinking, employing specialized tools, instruments, and procedures in order to obtain a more adequate solution of a problem than would be possible under ordinary means. It starts with a problem than would be possible facts, analyses these critically, and reaches decisions based on the actual evidence. It evolves original work instead of mere exercise of personal opinion. It evolves from a genuine desire to know rather than a desire to prove something. It is quantitative, seeking to know not only what but how much, and measurement is therefore a central feature of it. 2. Research per se constitutes a method for the discovery of truth, which is really a method of critical thinking. It comprises defining and redefining problems, formulating hypothesis or suggested solution, collecting, organizing, and evaluating data, making deductions and reaching conclusions, and at last, carefully testing the conclusions to determine whether they fit the formulating hypothesis. 3. The systematic and scholarly application of the scientific method, interpreted in its broader sense, to the solution of educational problems. Conversely, any systematic study designed to promote the development of education as a science can be considered educational research. Best, 1992, thinks research is considered to be the more formal, systematic, intensive process of carrying on the scientific method of analysis. It involves a more systematic structure of investigation, usually resulting in some sort of formal record of procedures and a report of result or conclusions. 4. Moreover, research is a point of view, an attitude of inquiry, or a frame of mind. It asks questions which have not been asked, it seeks to answer them by following a fairly definite procedure, is not a mere theorizing, rather it is an attempt to elicit facts and to face them once they have assembled. 5. Research is also called a kind of human behavior. However, one general definition of research would be that which refers to the activity of collecting information in an orderly and systematic fashion. Research is literally speaking a kind of human behavior and activity in which people engage. In education, teachers, administrators, scholars, or others engage in educational research when they systematically assemble information about schools, school children, the social matrix in which a school system is determined, the characteristics of the learner or the interaction between the school and pupils. 6. Educational research is normally considered as scientific research. The educational research is meant here for i.e. whole of the efforts carried out by public or private bodies in order to improve educational methods and educational activity in general, whether involving scientific research and a high level or more modest experiments concerning the school system and educational methods. 7. The Webster's International Dictionary proposes a very inclusive definition of research as careful inquiry or examination in seeking facts or principles, diligent investigation in order to ascertain something. 8. D. Schlesinger and M. Stevenson in the Encyclopedia of Social Sciences define research as the manipulation of things, concepts, or symbols for the purpose of generalizing to extend, correct, or verify knowledge, whether the knowledge aids in construction of theory or in the practice of an art. 9. While discussing the nature and significance of educational research, some scholars say, educational research is that activity which is directed towards development of science of behavior in educational situations. The ultimate aim of such a science is to provide knowledge that will permit the educator to achieve his goals by the most effective methods. 10. Some scholars considered research as a process of developing process. According to them, research may be defined as a method of studying problems whose solutions are to be derived partly or wholly from facts. The facts dealt with in research may be statements of opinion, historical facts, those contained in records and reports, the results of tests, answers to questions, experimental data of any sort, and so forth. The final purpose of educational research is to ascertain principles and develop procedures for use in the field of education. Therefore, it should conclude by formulating principles or procedures. The mere collection and tabulation of facts is not research, though it may be preliminary to it on even a part of thereof.